Get this figure and more at Hobby Link Japan, and don't forget about that merch. And before we get into the fan art, let me just read this final line here. I unironically only like Trigger because of their remote relation to Ava. Love Wade, age 21. Although I don't agree with you on your opinion on Trigger, they actually make legitimately good content.
Darling in the Franxx is the most disappointing.
Hey, my name is Jobby, and today we're taking a look at the SH Figuarts from Darling in the Franxx. And for those of you who don't know, Darling in the Franxx is a 2018 anime series by Studio Trigger, best known for their work on some of the best anime ever. You can fight me on this, but you will lose. But Trigger didn't make the show alone. A1 Pictures of Sword Art Online fame had a huge part in the production. Might explain the sudden dip in quality. Got it. The show's about a post-apocalyptic future where small groups of civilization have to defend themselves from mechanical beasts called Klaxosaurs, who arise from beneath the Earth's crust. And to do this, humanity has invented giant robots known as the Franxx, which are controlled by two pilots with a strong psychic bond. Are you swallowing what I'm spitting? At the beginning of the series, our hero named Hero has trouble finding a compatible partner. Enter our a mysterious and alluring character who might have more in common with the enemy than you might think. From that point, the show was a solid romance with fun characters, intriguing world building, and too many best girls to count. It's an interesting allegory for puberty and budding sexuality, all of it punctuated by thrilling giant robot action. I'd even say the show was really good. For a while. Second half onward, the show takes a turn for the worst, and it becomes clear that you just watched 24 episodes of Shinzo Abe propaganda.
The population of Japan is decreasing fast. Can't imagine why. Please go outside, you lonely degenerate virgins. Fall in love. Make baby. And try to ignore all the 02 merchandise, which includes posters, body pillows, and highly detailed anatomically accurate figures. This plan really backfired, didn't it?
MMMMM Evangelion.
The painting of the sculpting on this figure is dumbass shoes. Luckily, a stand arm is included, and you can plug that right into this base, which is based on the cockpit of the Franxx. There's a way to properly seat her in there, but we'll get to that later. Once she's standing tall, we can see that she's a great representation of one of the best parts of the show. You heard that right. This pink-haired waifu of the week that was literally designed to be marketable is more than just a pretty face. She's actually got some good writing to back up her striking design, and her sleek and elegant plug suit is cast in a deep shade of blood red. Appropriate considering the violent nature of the character. Wait, did I say plug suit? Come to think of it, these back panels look a lot like... Nope, no similarities at all.
MMMM.
And while we're back here, hell yeah, dude. Looks fine until you bend her legs for... Oh my god! For... butt cheeks. And that's not the only problem I have with this sculpt. If we pass over all this precise detailing and fashionable asymmetry, we find ourselves at the less than stellar head sculpt. Is it just me, or is something a little off here? It might be the overly puffy cheeks. Not those cheeks, but they are overly puffy. I suppose her snarky personality is there, but the sculpt doesn't quite capture the art style of the show. Something is proportionally off. And I hate to do it to Bandai like this because God knows I love Bandai, but this face problem wouldn't be an issue with a Figma figure. The Good Smile Company has somehow mastered the art of capturing an anime character's likeness in figure form, unique art style and all. Bandai, on the other hand, is a little more proficient in capturing the likeness of real, actual people. And that shows when you look at their anime sculpts. From what I've seen, they have this sort of bland, semi-realistic, almost Kigurumi quality to them. And if you know what Kigurumi masks are, you know that's not a compliment. An exception would be the SH Figuarts Dragon Ball figures. Those look fantastic, and I don't even watch Dragon Ball. Zero2's face sculpt isn't that bad by any means, but it doesn't make me want to come instantly. I'm putting that on Bandai. strangely enough, her alternate faces actually look a lot better. In addition to the sideways glance, you get a blank face, a yelling face, and another sideways glance, just looking in the opposite direction. Really, Bandai? Yes, the faces don't look bad at all, but 02 definitely showed a wider range of emotion than this. Where's the passion, the sorrow, Her hand selection is pretty basic as well. Pair of relaxed hands, open hands, grabby hands with nothing to grab, and fists. Caution is required. These hands are tiny. Not gonna lie, the accessories here are a bit disappointing. There doesn't seem to be any real consideration about the character here. Just throwing a bunch of shit so we can justify a $50 price tag. I had a similar issue with the DC Collectibles animated Joker from way back when. Like, oh yeah, the Joker is well known for his iconic comb. The only accessories that really stand out here are the stand and this hood piece that we'll get to soon. Right after we cover this ball joint at the head. Can't look down that far and look up that far. Wish it could look up farther. Ball joint at the shoulder allows for rotation. Arm moves out. Bicep joint, bend at the elbow. Hinge joint at the wrist. And if you rotate a few things, you can get some side to side. Ball joint at the tata allows for an arcing back and a slight crunch. These butt flaps have a hinge joint and rotation, but that's more for the transformation. Ball joint at the hips allows for a slight kick, but you can extend that range by extending the waist. And now look at that. Can't move back that far.
Beautiful spread.
Thigh rotation, bend at the knee, up and down at the ankle, rotation, and an ankle pivot. Also, the stand arm has a hinge joint, hinge joint, hinge joint. Despite being decently articulated, your display options are kinda limited due to the limited scope of the accessories. But you could always get some out of character action poses, that's always fun. Seeing that Darling in the Franxx is a mecha show, a big part of 02's character is that she's a Franxx pilot, and the Franxx have a very particular way of being piloted. Shoehorn transformation sequence, let's go! The instructions say to switch her hands here, but it doesn't really matter. And here we have her pistil mode, as in pistil and stamen, the female and male reproductive organs of a flower, respectively. Blooming sexuality, remember? It's all really intelligent and metaphorical, totally not designed for lowly degenerate virgins to fat too.
For fuck's sake.
This is a great display option. It's just a shame about the 4 butt cheeks, and I wish that the cockpit itself had more detail work put into it. It's just a plain plastic piece with 0 paint. However, you could make this display more impressive if you connect the certain figures sold separately. Let's give her back her dignity and get into our size comparisons. Here's a fellow Studio Trigger girl, Figma Ryugo Matoi, Figma Satsuki Kiryuin, Maraka Godzilla Prime, and Bandai should really make an SH Figuarts hero. After all, 02's only half of one of the best anime romances. I don't watch a lot of anime. Overall, this figure's pretty great. Get her if you're a Darling in the Franxx fan, which seems to be a shrinking group. Show wasn't that bad, guys, come on. And she's available at Hobby Link Japan. Other Darling in the Franxx figures are also available, which include Ichigo, who did nothing wrong, and the show's uniquely designed mecha.
Even the giant robots are hot. Japan is fucking dead.
Thank you so much for watching. Leave a like if you liked the video, give me a comment, let me know what you think, and consider smashing that bell. I hope you're not tired of the show yet, because I am.
MMMMM.